Hey, fellas, sorry, I can't mute my mic. Not giving me the little icon at the bottom. Oh, okay. Does it sound okay? All right, yeah. So, I mean, me and my wife drop a little curse bomb now and then, but it's very seldom. Kind of like you, and they do let us know, like, hey, you just did a bad word, and like, give us a little warning about it. But yeah, we try not to curse kind of the kids. Yeah, I'm not sure. It could be my signal. But I'm not sure what's going on. All right, cool.
Hey, who knows if this is working or not? Sorry, I was trying to get my headset everything plugged in. I actually missed what your question was. I apologize. I would say no. I grew up, like I said before, 1,000 times if I said it once. I was raised by my grandparents, and it was a big family. They had 9 kids and whatever and stuff. And I know if I ever got busted swearing, I got the soap. So there wasn't hiding behind any of the other co-conspirators in the house. I got the soap. Absolutely. And my grandmother had the vocabulary of a trucker, so she wasn't the best of role models when it came to that. But yeah, if we said anything, oh no. When I raised my first son, I actually would do the grandma thing, but I would use hot sauce instead of soap. And but this time around with these younger ones, I just the world's a different place. If I did that now, you'd end up with family children services showing up at your freaking house, you know? So you sort of got to give them a stern talking, explain to them the difference between good words and bad words and what makes them bad words. And there's some words that are even worse than others. And, they try the little thing, they'll say certain little words here and there and try to get away with little whatevers and stuff. But in general, they do pretty good for like the fucking shit and all that stuff. They don't say it, right? Well, that's the whole big thing too. Like most of the words, it's not that big of a deal, and it seems like when you have a kid that's like 1.5 or whatever, starting to piece together words, if I like hit my thumb with a hammer and I say shit, that's the first word they pick up. I could try teaching them everything. Here's your bottle. Here's whatever this, that, and the other thing. As soon as I say shit, like if I hit my hand, boom, they're saying it. Those words stick into their brains. I actually have a theory behind that. It might sound weird, but usually, like, I'm goofing around, me and my buddies broing down, some swear words come out, but in general, you don't usually swear. When you hit your thumb and you say like shit or whatever, you're saying it with so much enthusiasm. You're almost making it seem like it's an important word. So the kids can pick up. It's like a cat, or dog, they know their name because it seems like an important word to them. Like it's said with such like emotion that I think that's why they pick it up.
Okay. And I think I would agree with you on that. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Anyone want to agree with Tuttles? Let's see. Ninja Bunny says I babysit a 1 year old and I'm watching everything I say because he's learning to talk now. They pick up things so quickly. Yes. Uh, I hit my toes in yelling out. Okay. Let's see. Frankie. Oh, this is to Jester. Frankie says, I took your suggestion and changed my logo. Thank you. And Jester says to Frankie, very cool. Yes, Frankie, I do like your logo. Chill. Welcome. Welcome. So, Tuttles, with your family, now you say your oldest one was 19, if I recall from another show, or am I wrong?
No, no, he's 22.
Okay, and then your youngest.
Is 2.
So when your oldest come home, or if they're at home, whatever, do they curse in front of the younger ones?
Absolutely not, and he still barely ever curses in front of me.
Okay, all right. That's what I like to hear. Okay. So do they not, do the older kids not do it because they know they'll get in trouble, or they just don't do it because they just know they should not do it?
I think they're doing it because they think that they shouldn't do it because I don't know. I'm trying to raise my kids a little different than a lot of people are these days, and trying to be a little bit more old school and more about values and family values and stuff, you know? So I'm hoping that I'm instilling that in them, and that's why they're not doing it. Like, to be honest, like, I'll hear them goofing around or whatever, and the occasional little word will come out, and then they'll giggle. Like, I don't like full on Rambo go at them or whatever. When they're on their own little space and stuff like that, you know, and they do it, I just let them, sneak away with it a little bit. But when it's in front of me, it's like that. No, that's a big no no.
Okay, all right.
So everybody, like I said, even when I'm growing down with my buddies and stuff, like the vocab is a little bit different when we're in the garage, or even when I'm playing around with Jester on Podbeam. We joke around, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, and I get it. I mean, because like I said, y'all heard me curse. When I'm
Oh,
with
for
with
sure.
some of my girlfriends, or whatever. I am, cursing, whatever. But when I am around my son, I do not do it. The f bomb becomes um friggin', or shit becomes uh seriously, whatever. I mean, I just don't. And even though he's older, for me, it's just that respect factor. I mean, I know he respects us, but I just want, again, it's just that respect factor for him, for me,
Well,
towards him. And I do think that adults and parents do and should respect their children, on a certain level. That's
there,
just me.
there's even a good example out here on Podbeam is like the Old Man Show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like when Grammy's up there, especially and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
Tom and things, you respect the fact that he's our elder and he doesn't want swearing because he wants it safe for children and stuff like that. So that just going on the Old Man Show is almost like I don't know, an example of the whole situation.
Well, right. Plus, when you go on his show, just the tone of it, not to curse.
Yeah, like I dropped a shit bomb the other day by accident, but I was lucky Grammy wasn't there. We were talking about why. This is a little off topic, obviously, but people were banning rain catchment systems off of people's houses, like rain barrels and stuff. And they thought a lot of it had to do with the government just overreaching, but it was actually because birds fly by and they poop on people's roof, and as it rains, it washes the fecal into your gutters and into your rain catchment system. And people weren't sterilizing their water properly,
That's
so there
gross.
was actually a few outbreaks of avian bird flu from people drinking from their rainwater.
Okay.
So I accidentally said bird shit.
But you are right. You look at a show like his, it's like, and again, I just think with this, like his tone. I mean, plus it's just like, his show comes on at 7 o'clock for me, and I'm just getting up, or whatever, or if I've been up and taking the dogs out and I'm turning on his show. um his show is just that feel good show in the morning to get you started, so you don't curse.
Mm-hmm. You don't
So,
curse, you don't come there with attitude, and if you got a beef with somebody else, you leave it at the damn door.
well, if you have a beef with someone else, period, you should leave it at the door. You don't bring it on somebody else's show.
Well,
So,
that's the problem on Podbean, but trust you me, a few people have been had a few words spoken to by myself over stuff like
no,
that.
I totally understand, because I have learned, things have come my way at times, and when I'm on other people's shows, and I just ignore it because I'm not going to go there. So, but no, I mean, with cursing, do you think that if if you went to work and you were brand new, you were the new kid, and everybody is sitting there just cursing. Every time you mean you go to work, everybody's cursing every single day. Do you think that you will eventually start that habit?
No, because I've worked in environments where cursing was totally bad, and I've worked in environments where it was totally fine. And the people who swear, they just swear, and the people who don't, don't.
Okay. All right. All right. So, do you think that you put you put a child in the same situation? Let's say someone who's in sixth grade, or I don't know how old that is, like 9 or whatever. They come from a home, no cursing, no swearing. Then they get to school, and they go to school, and everybody is they get out the recess, or they're and they're eating lunch, whatever, and everybody's cursing. Do you think that eventually that child will not only start cursing at school, but they'll bring it home?
I believe they'll start doing it at school, but in your home, it's different. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, if my kids are all playing around, and my daughter Bella will say like shit or something like that, and they all have that little giggle moment, you know what I mean? Like, but then it's totally different in front of parents.
Okay. All right. Now, Alpha Mike says, my grandmother cursed all the time. I loved her, but no way I curse in front of her. Okay.
Oh
So,
yeah,
hey, shy lady. And Alpha says, chances are, let's see, 99% of people will take on the traits of others in everyday environment. It's been proven in studies, only a few have strong willpower. What do you think about that, Tunnels?
well, that's why I try to instill values and willpower into my kids. A lot of people, unfortunately, I'm not saying anybody up here, is bad or whatever, but I know there's a lot of lazy parents out there that just can't be bothered taking care of their kids anymore.
But, okay, but what he just said, does that contradict what you said about going to work and not picking up that
No, because when you're a kid, you get that little rebelness into you. But once you're older and you're set in your ways, you're just set in your ways. Like after the age of 25, it's actually pretty hard to influence somebody. Like by the time you're about 25, 26 years old, you pretty much know who you are. Like
okay,
if you're that type of person, like life of changing events happen, a loss of a loved one or whatever or anything like that. But just in general, by the time you're like 25 or 26 ish, you sort of already are comfortable in your skin by that point. You're like 5, 6 years out of high school and all that drama, and you realized how much stupidity was there, and you get your own bearing on life. And I don't know.
okay, all right. Shy lady, welcome.
Hey,
Hey,
uh,
you want to add to the
oh,
conversation?
I'll just add that my husband and I never cursed around our kids when they were young. They weren't allowed to watch PG-13 movies. And once I got older and got grown, I noticed that they were watching all kinds of stuff. And I would hear their conversations with, friends or whatever on the phone, and they were saying a lot of stuff. But I don't really curse around my kids that much. I'll say a few words, but not like F and all that kind of stuff. And my kids say things around me, but I just respect that they're grown now. And so I don't try to um, silence their tongue or anything like that. They're respectful, but I know that they're grown and they talk like that among their friends. And I respect that they're grown. So I don't really go off or whatever if I hear something every now and then.
Okay, all right. It's interesting because we never let our son. Well, my son was not allowed to have a TV in his room, and he was not allowed to watch PG-13 things either. But he never watches TV. I mean, I think in all the years he's been on this earth, I think he's watched less than 10 hours of TV. He just doesn't watch it. My son's an artist. He likes to draw. That's all he ever did. But but cursing. So do you think, shy lady, do you think that your kids were cursing just because their friends were, or they were testing the waters as they got older, like in their teen years and what have you? They were just testing.
I think that they were cursing in middle school, honestly, because of the seriously, because of the music. some of the music, because I would not allow them to watch like MTV, BET. I would not allow them to watch that. And when they got older, well, like I say, like eighth grade, I discovered that they were listening to all kind of rap stuff, and I asked them when they got older. I said, if I didn't let you watch this, how did you hear about it? And they're like, oh, the kids in school. The kids in school would let me hear the music on their from their phones, and that's how they started getting into that. So yeah.
All right, so you brought up social media, with the phones and everything. So, how much do you think kids get cursing and swearing? I guess that's the same thing. From their phones and social media as opposed to being at home. Even if you come from a household where your parents or someone in your household is just swearing constantly, do you think that they're still getting more from social media? And that's for either Shy Lady Tuttles or anybody in
Someone
the
else can
chat.
answer.
Tuttles, you
Well,
want to
they're
answer that one?
yeah, they're definitely inundated with extra swearing and all that stuff on on media things. Like even if you're playing like Xbox or whatever, you'll hear like a whole room full of 12-year-olds with the worst trucker mouth in the world. So if your kid's not a big swear person, they come on there, they're still hearing it all in there too. But like I said, you got to instill into them what the differences between the time to swear and the time not to swear.
Okay. Alpha Mike said, not just social media, kids cursing in video games is like a pandemic. Little kids yelling, go F you, mom, like, what the F? Yep. Let's see. Oh, thank you, both Grit and Juju. Yeah, guys, please keep hitting the like button. Thank you. Trying to get to that 100,000. Okay, so have you guys ever had a job where you hated it so much that all you did was curse? Because I've had a job like that. It was in insurance. I hated that job. I hated that job. And every day when I went to work, I would literally sit at my desk and I would just curse. It was always something, either I took a call or something I had to do, filling out some paperwork. I just hated that job. And I literally it was like consistent cursing until I was like, I gotta find another job, and I finally quit. But have you guys ever had a job where you all just consistently curse?
I had a job in a heat treating facility for many years just before I screwed my body up a little bit. And in between, I would say May and September, I cursed that place every single day because it was just so hot. Like they would literally feed us popsicles and watermelon all friggin' day just to keep us on our feet. So every single day, like in spring and summer, I cursed that place, cursed every little thing. Every time I had to hit a button to get my robot work, and I was like, "You fucking robot, you're gonna open the goddamn oven."
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I've had that for sure.
And Alpha Mike says, working in a kitchen. I'm sorry, working in a kitchen and restaurant is where I definitely curse the most. Okay, all right.
It's amazing what you don't hear in a restaurant, eh? Because like in the back, chefs and stuff like that, like what's that dude that's popular on TV, Hell's Kitchen and stuff?
Gordon Ramsay.
He's a schoolgirl compared to a lot of the friggin' kitchen people I know. Because I took culinary arts for like 4 years when I was younger, and we did a job kitchen for like our job training and stuff like that. Oh my god, that place is like worse than a trucker mouth.
Okay, and Ruthless says, I've always enjoyed my jobs, but as a mechanic, we definitely curse all day. And Brina says, when I was a dishwasher, I cursed a lot because I tried to keep things in order and people would always mess up my system. I know, don't you hate that when you have a system and somebody screws it up? Alpha Mike says, Chef Ramsay, don't eat out, people. Trust me when I tell you, cook at home. You know, Alpha, yeah, very rarely do I eat out because if you send something back and you don't know if they're going to send it back in a different way than they should, what's in the food, you see some of these exposés out there, and how some people don't clean the kitchens or yeah, um,
Yeah,
yeah.
watch the movie with Ryan Reynolds in it called Waiting, and then they have part 2 that's called Still Waiting. And oh my god, the stuff they do. This one lady, she was just being a real mouthpiece, and then she sent her steak back, and I don't even want to say what they did to her, but it was just disgusting.
Well, Alpha might just co-sign for you there because he says, "Have y'all seen the movie Waiting?" Is basically a documentary. Oh.
Told you, Alpha Mike, you're my wife. What the heck are you doing on here?
Okay, and Grid says that mayonnaise bottle on the table. Okay, guys, you are grossing me out, but I am going to watch that, and I will probably try to watch it this evening or tomorrow. 'Cause now you all have my curiosity peak, but yeah,
You can never
yeah.
go wrong with a Ryan Reynolds movie. He's a good actor.
And all restaurants are not like that. I understand that. I totally get it. But there are some things that you see and you like, for instance, okay, I don't know what went on with the mayonnaise bottle that's on the table, but when I'm in a restaurant, only because I am a can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay, I'm sorry. What was the last thing that you heard me say? I'm sorry. I have one of those mics say if you touch the top of it, it automatically mutes. So I accidentally bumped into it. So sorry.
You started saying that if you went to a restaurant,
Oh,
that's
okay.
all.
No, I was just basically saying that, you go to a restaurant and if I want some ketchup or something, I ask if they have the little packs because I don't like using the bottles that are on the table.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean that right there, I mean going to a restaurant is enough to to make you curse. But again, it's not all. It is not all. So, have you guys ever worked at a place where you guys really, really loved and could never imagine cursing at all?
No, because you always have that curse word that, like, if something goes really good and whatever, you high five. It's like, fuck yeah. You know what
Well,
I
no, I
mean?
mean,
Kind
I
of
don't. Okay,
moment?
point this. That's a good swear. That's a positive swear. I'm talking about where it's a not positive swear. It's a negative swear. So I'm calling swears positives and negatives now.
No, I've never enjoyed any job that much.
I'm trying to think. Have I ever had a job?
I've had jobs where I couldn't swear on because I was always on the phone doing sales calls. Like, I started off as electric motor mechanic for a bunch of years, then I got into the wholesale industry for a long time. And I was absolutely not allowed to swear at all at work because if there was a customer or on the other phone or one of the bosses or one of the CEOs was there, and then I was a manager and I definitely couldn't swear because then I had to lead by example. But
Okay. Justice says I curse a lot in law enforcement, and Mike says, yes, I don't. I doubt I curse working in an amusement park. Huh. Okay. And Justice says when I worked at the school, no swearing. Well, the best job I've ever had, even though I have that I do swear, is working from home. I enjoy working from home. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Mainly because I don't have to interact with many people. I do curse at times, but yeah, yeah. So, Jester, I'm assuming that you did not swear at school because you were around children. So, let's see. Okay, so going from swearing. Let's go to things like smoking or drinking and things like that, and you're doing it at home. Do you think smoking and drinking is something that a child will pick up from uh that they'll pick up from you in the household as opposed to uh picking up from their classmates, or if they had a part-time job or something like that?
For me, to be honest, mine was more peer pressure, and I started smoking because a buddy of mine on a bus, back when you could smoke on a bus, handed me a cigarette, and I said yeah, and I just started smoking. Had nothing to do with my grandparents or nothing, because even until my grandmother died, I still never smoked a cigarette in front of her.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Now, when I was smoking, I did not smoke in. I smoked in front of my mom, but I never smoked in front of my dad. I just wouldn't. Um, but let's see. Alpha Mike says, "How about teaching kids about farm animals like hens?" Oh, Alpha Mike, Alpha Mike. Brina says, "I don't smoke and I never drink in front of my son. I do think they would pick that up."
Can I backtrack for 1 second to Alpha
Yeah.
Mike? That's one of those times where I was trying to think of an example of like when kids try to push it. The word jackass for donkey. You ever see a kid say the word jackass and just start to snicker a little bit because they had the ass at the end of that word?
Yeah.
I just couldn't pull any examples at that particular second, but yeah, he just reminded me of that. Sorry.
But is that bad? Is that bad?
No, jackass isn't bad, but it's just funny because they say ass and you always get that little snicker at the end of it.
Okay, so let me ask this, and this is a word that I don't like using to other people, especially other women, or having it directed towards me. But if you were to say, um, let's say if an adult said it to another adult, or if a child said it to another child, and they said, "Your mom is a bitch," okay, as opposed to saying your mom is a dog, or your mom looks like a dog. Should we get upset considering that they're talking about a dog, or a female dog?
If anybody called my wife or my mom or my grandmother a bitch or a dog,
But would you
yeah,
be more upset of the dog word or of the B word?
that's a tough call.
Okay.
I just don't take kindly to people insulting my people.
No, no, I totally get it, but I'm just going by what you and Alpha Mike just said, so
Ah.
I'm I'm
Yeah,
I'm
no,
I'm
no.
just asking.
I've heard kids say bitch and say that's a female dog. Yeah, I've definitely heard them say that before, but to actually call my grandmother, my mother, or my wife or anything like that, no, they'd be getting a backhander. I don't care who they were.
Okay.
Whether they said dog or bitch.
Okay. Ninja Bunny says, "My father used to smoke like a chimney. I hated the smell and never wanted to try it." Let's see. Ruthless says, "I used to buy my dad cigarettes growing up when it wasn't too illegal yet." Alpha Mike says, or the word damn, and they try getting away with it like the Hoover Dam. Yeah. And Alpha Mike says, "I made the mistake of calling my mother a bitch during the winter, and I got locked out the house in my boxes for an hour."
you,
Yikes.
you
Wow.
deserved it.
That was a lesson learned. So Chill Will is here. Welcome, Chill.
Hey, hey, Will.
So big dog.
Can't hear you.
Check one, one, two. Check one, two.
Can't hear you. Very, 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 very faint.
One, two, three.
Much, much, much better. Much better.
For some reason, my headphones ain't working right. So now, whenever
Somebody
I
said
have microphone,
Podbean did an upgrade, and if you upgraded
well, I
your
can't hear y'all, so
phone,
y'all probably can hear me.
yeah,
I gotta
now,
figure something
yes.
out. Give me 1 second. Switch headphones.
Yeah, I had that problem for like 3 or 4 days. Now I'm using these weird headphones that I've never used before. all my Bob Marley headsets that I used to wear with the mics on them, they won't work anymore. I have to use this like gamer type Xbox thing plugged into my cell phone for you guys to hear me.
Well, you're coming in loud and clear. But there have been a couple of shows I've been on where you cannot hear people at all. So
Yeah. Our playback for our Thursday show, there's some spots where you can't even hear me. It's horrible. And I had a special guest on there too, so I was super bummed because me and Sal were good buddies and stuff, and I was feeling like a moron because it's like, hey, why don't you got your shit figured out, dude?
and that's when I was putting in the chat, can't hear you, can't hear you,
Yeah.
can't hear you, can't hear you. And everyone else was sitting pretending like that they could. I was like, nope, can't hear you, can't hear you, can't hear you, can't hear. All right, Chill, are you back?
He has gone off the
Okay,
panel
I
now.
do believe he has exited the building. All right. So, Ruthless, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Juju says my Beats headset just stopped working. Okay, I'm still going with headset from 7-Eleven. Hey, it's usually the cheap ones are usually the ones that come on. Okay, Will is back, I do believe. If you want to pop back up. I saw him leave and come back in. Okay. Well, okay. So if someone, going back to the whole, dog thing, and going back to Alpha Mike when he said, hens and cocks and things like that, and I'm talking about the bird, would you get upset if someone called you a cock, but they were talking about the bird? Settles.
No, I don't let that much stuff phase me, to be honest.
Okay. And Shy Lady, I'm going to go to you. What do you think about the whole bitch dog thing?
I don't like it.
But if they said, I'm talking about it. So if someone called you a dog, is that different from calling you a bitch? And a bitch is supposed to be a
No,
female dog?
it's still not a positive
Okay.
saying to me.
Okay. So what about the whole cock thing?
I don't like that either.
All right. All right. Well, you had a very definitive answer there. All right. So do you think that when children hear those words, when they hear the word damn, DAMN, instead of DAM, do you think for the most part children know what they're saying, or like Tuttle said, there's that little giggle that's at the end? Do you think that they know, or do you think that they truly don't know?
Is that for me?
That's for whomever wants to answer.
I think they know. I think they
Oh,
do.
yeah, I can concur with that. They know, definitely.
Okay. Do you think that they know the bitch dog?
Probably by about the age of 6 or 7, 8ish, depending on who they're hanging around with. But yes.
Okay. Okay. And Alpha Mike says, yeah, why women always calling men dogs?
Because they like to go around sniffing all the chicks' asses.
Thank you, Tuttle. Thank you for answering that. And some men, they do act like dogs sometimes. Oh, okay. I agree about men calling
I
men dogs.
I want to make a correction on that. I meant to say I agree with that about men being called dogs because of the way they act. That not like so much on a negative level, but I'm just saying, constantly chasing after women because that's in their nature. That's just how they are.
Procreation is the nature of everything, and yeah, and there is a time and place for it if you're not married and stuff, obviously. But yeah.
But sometimes if you are married, some men still do it. But that's another show.
Another show for another day.
That is another show. And Tuttles is calling Jester later sexy. Bye, Jester. Thanks for stopping in. Oh boy, so it's just interesting to me that, and again, when I'm out and about, usually if I'm walking my dog, whatever, because we walk everywhere all over our little town, whatever, you just hear children cursing. And it just, sometimes it surprises me because when I look to see about how old these kids are, and some of it's just the fact that some of the stuff that they're saying, and you're like, wow, I never said that when I was little. And if I did, I wouldn't be here right now. So is it social media, or is it just the fact that uh you know times have just changed?
I don't think times have changed all that much, but some of the different things that they talk about nowadays is definitely a little bit more descriptive, especially when it comes to uh like like sexual orientations of type of things too, because a lot of the world today and the kids today, as far as I'm concerned, are over sexualized with the way a lot of things go. So there's always been the vulgarity, but it's just a little bit more descriptive now, I think, than it used to be.
So do you think that like they have sex education in school? Should there be a class on cursing?
That wouldn't be a half bad idea. I've never considered that or even thought of it as a thing, because whatever. But yeah, actually, that would almost fall into like an etiquette type class, where you learn the proper nice and forks and spoons to use
Right.
and proper language and etiquette. Like I think the world's lacking a lot of that stuff. Human. Sorry, my cat's chasing a squirrel.
So if you had something like that, what age or what grade age, whatever, would you introduce it in school, considering that you do have children who are young, very young, who are cursing?
I'd say about grade 3.
Okay. Do you think it would make a difference? And
Yeah,
and,
that's a
and, and
tough
I
call.
say that, do you think it would make a difference if a child is coming from a home where there's a lot of cursing?
Like there is some kids that teachers do instill a lot of good into them, right? So like if the parents are home and leading by bad examples and the teacher's there for some guidance leading for a good example, the hope would be that it would work.
Okay.
And I think in some cases it would, but not in all cases, obviously. Couldn't hurt to
Okay.
try.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Shelly says it always surprises me when I hear little kids curse. Alpha Mike says I don't want to cross the line here, but there are kids in my complex always saying, "Okay, okay, okay." I'm not going to go into that because that's a different show, and um, I'm not going to go into that. That's a different show, but I'm pretty sure you can pretty figure out what I think. Chalet says these days kids have access to everything, even if parents monitor the home, computer, phone devices. Once they go to school, all bets are off. I mean, this is true. You don't know when your kids leave the house. You don't know what they're saying when they're on their phones talking to their friends and they're texting. You don't know what they're saying. So uh,
Even at
okay.
home too, we got like 7 laptops, and even with parental controls and supposed to be on certain places, they still like all of a sudden my one daughter will be listening to a song on YouTube and it's like, you shouldn't really be listening to that song right now. And that's even with parental controls on and me like not even that far away from the situation, you know? It's always going to be there on the computers and stuff for sure. There's nothing
Right.
you can do about it.
This is true. So, Chill, you are back. How is your mic working?
We're about to find out right now.
Yes, yes, you are coming in loud and clear.
Okay, cool. Hey everybody, what's happening once again? I see y'all out there. Um, yeah, the hell with that. I'm cursing. I think that's it.
In front of your child?
I'm just cursing. The hell with it all. The hell with them kids. The hell with whoever else around. They just got to hear. I'm cursing everybody. Don't make me mad. It's gonna get worse. That's what's gonna happen. That's it. So thank you for supporting me.
Okay. And Alpha Mike says a lot of old TV shows and cartoons that have hidden meanings and are meant for adults. I agree with that, Alpha Mike. All right, so
I pray, but really, I probably I wouldn't mind in any kind of way cursing, as long as it's tasteful. I mean, kids don't curse around themselves. I mean, typically they know what to do and know what not to do. I mean, you try to tone down cursing, but they're gonna learn it, right? I mean, when they get older, though, I don't mind expression. Cursing is a form of expression. I mean, if you just potty mouth, then yeah. Well, like when you like I think somebody said it, hit yourself, hit yourself, or you're like stub your toe or something like that. You let out a curse word, stuff like that. If you with the fellas,
yeah,
they're gonna see a different part of you in the
some,
garage.
but there's also a time and a place for it, and some people do excessive cursing when it's not necessary or needed.
Nah, I mean that doesn't mean that like a child will be like that. Curse is the least thing that can do.
I don't know if you're constantly dropping the f bombs and what have you in front of your child or children, whether they're yours or not. I think they would pick. I think they're going to pick it up. And just like Miss Ninja Bunny says, she's babysitting a 1 year old and she has to watch what she says because they're learning how to talk. They will pick that up.
Well, they'll definitely pick it up, but at the same time, you know when and when not to use them is what I guess I'm saying. Because growing up in a household where man, people curse around me all the time, that doesn't necessarily mean I would curse around. I would obviously gonna learn them. When you learn more things out of the household. So basically, what you learning is what to do in the house and without the house. That's how you learn wrong from right. I even if my mom cussed or something like that, or my father cussed, they cursed, and it's a written rule, unwritten rule. Do as I say and not as I do, right? And so you learn the difference of what you can and can't do, whether how hypocritical it may be. You just kind of learn that. I mean, for me, we know what's wrong and right. We know it's wrong time, right time, and then typically when it's like a grandparent or some elder, even your parents don't curse as much, because it's just a respect factor. Especially if you like I grew up in like a the big mama church environment, and of course you're gonna be a little bit different around the elder or somebody that's older. But for the most part, if you raising your children, I mean, no card parties, barbecues, uncles and people, they come over, they like, hey, I'll stop all the cussing, but they still going, they still gonna cuss, they still gonna play cards and drink and talk crap, and it ain't necessarily in a bad light either. It's just you learning how some of your parents, I mean, some of your folks and they don't got no ill will. It's just they potty mouth, and you learn not to do that. I mean, you hear it, but you learn not to do that.
And some people learn to pick it up and they will do it. So I think it's half and half. I mean, it's a draw. Either you will pick it up or you won't.
I think everybody picks it up. I don't think it's unequivocally without doubt you're gonna pick it up as far as how to curse. Everybody should know how to curse. First of all, that's a valuable asset. If you want to cuss somebody out, to learn how to cuss somebody out is a valuable asset, unequivocally without a doubt. And it's just not to say you're gonna just curse around people. Of course, you're gonna learn how to curse. I mean, that's awesome. Like a good chosen few curse words at the right moment, it's nothing better than that. But you know when them not to do it. But when you're around your friends, you got the little friends that curse. You don't want to be that one to go tell on the other kids because they was cursing. I was not gonna do that. You know, you might join in a little bit, but you know, when you go around your parents or your grandparents in your house, there's no fly zone. But everybody's gonna pick it up regardless whether you cursing in your household or not. Um,
No,
it's
and
a
I
form of it's a form of
and
you.
once again, I'm not saying that people and even your children, I'm not saying that they're not going to do it while they're not at home. That's not, I mean, when they leave the house. I'm not saying that people are not going to do it when they go to work, whatever. I'm not saying that. I am saying, is it something that you should do in front of your child or other children? That's all I'm saying.
Phew, should do. I mean, I guess you wouldn't want that to happen, but man, it was done so much around me. I don't necessarily think that I still knew not to curse though. You know, so I knew I would give. I give. I can't say the same thing they say. My butt might get whooped. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. They would. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've seen so many kids in some crazy situations that adapt. Like you said, like sometimes it could be probably more than half and half as far as being in a bad environment. But I've seen other kids just be a complete opposite from their parents because they just the disdain they have for their mom or their if it's just that gets that bad, they just don't want to treat their children like that. So they go completely opposite. You
And
know,
that's a good point. I want to read what Alpha Mike says really quick. There's a TikTok video where the little girl asks her mom if she can say a bad word. The mom says okay, and uh, the little girl let it
yeah.
rip. So, but once again, it's like what you just said. It's like some parents may curse so much that their kids look at them with disdain,
Mm,
and they choose when they get older as they're growing up, they choose not to do that. So again, I'm just saying, I know again when kids get away from home, away from their parents, away from authority, whatever, they do things that they probably shouldn't, or we don't know that they're doing. But again, I'm just saying, should you do it in front of your child? Me personally, I chose not to. I still don't. I think again, it's a respect factor that I want my son
mm,
to have from me. If other people do it in front of their kids, you all can do whatever you want. But I just think that you should not curse
mm.
in front of your child or in front of other children. I just think it's a bad look. That's just me.
I get it. Especially I think the bad thing was at children. Like when you're cussing like literally at them, like you fucking loser, you ain't shit like your daddy. That right there is the. But if you just like necessarily just God damn, there's some people that comes off like it's crazy, but I mean I don't know if that can hurt. But when you really dogging your parents, like dogging your kids, now that's the part I can't any kind of way. Because sometimes you ain't got to cuss the dog your kids, right? But it's just the way even Walmart, shut your little ass, up, shut your little ass up, and get your little, it's that I'm like, wow, this is crazy, and they respond like that. Now that's crazy to me.
So are you? I mean, is that something that they should be called out on because they are directing it to their child?
Oh shit, I
Because
talked to oh man,
I
Todd,
mean,
I done argue with a whole woman in Walmart for talking to her kids like that. I've had several altercations with when I see somebody cussing a child or even sometimes a girl or the mom like something like that. I'll say something or like even kids when they go on to bat and it's just in the like you said, there's certain places you want to appear. It's I've stopped kids and say, hey, y'all watch y'all mouth because y'all in the wrong place to be acting like that. They're gonna take you little asses to jail if you want to curse. I'm the only one's gonna curse around here. And sometimes that's the way you gotta approach kids, like and say coaching. Coaching is a big deal. Like if you don't got no coach that curses like a professional, you ain't got no good coach. Like at one point, you gonna have a good ass coach that's gonna cuss your ass out. He just gonna cuss you, and you gonna be. You might play in little league, but everybody understands that this is probably the most passionate, most caring person that's out there. He's the one that's probably
I have to
spending all the
disagree. I
money,
have to
the
disagree with
time.
you on that one.
I'm just saying, that's fine, but I just know specifically from personal experience, like I this coach cares the most for us. Just because he's cursing, don't mean necessarily that he's cursing us out like dogging us. But he's like, if you get in trouble, he gonna curse you out. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't doing the right thing. It's just how he is. But he's the most loving person out there. You can't
Okay.
tell him there. You just can't. Is it because he's fitting the bill? When you in trouble, he's the first one there. But
All right.
when you're doing wrong, he's the first one there.
All right. I know Tuttles wants to say something.
Yeah, I grew up playing hockey from the time I was 4 to like I was 19, 20, 21-ish, depending on what your version of playing hockey was, because I played some other stuff too. But anyways, my coaches, they were very proficient at swearing at us. Like when we were
Okay.
losing, oh my God. But
So I take
Joe
it
Will is,
Jason Kidd was cursing out the Mavericks last night. I just thought I'd throw that in. Go ahead.
Possibly,
but
I
possibly.
I
I
am
totally
sorry.
agree. I totally agree with what Chill Will says. You have like an adult dude who could be off doing whatever else in the world he wants to be doing right at that particular time, but he's taking those like hours out of his days and just to be there and coach for you. And when you do something right, you're getting the pat on the back, but when you do something wrong, you're getting the red face screaming.
All right.
But yeah,
All right.
the most caring and compassionate person, but also the biggest asshole in the room sometimes.
All right. Well, I am going to start wrapping this up, and I think this was a good show. Thank you guys, and Ninja Bunny. I do like your new moniker, your new handle, Ninja Bunny. All right. So, did I miss any comments here? Alpha says I've only got cursed at my mom for being in the way when I shouldn't have. He says sometimes you got to curse to make a firm point. Okay. And this was fun. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, Shy Lady. Thank you. Thank you. You have a great day also. And Grit, I'm sorry that your sound wasn't working. But thank you for coming back. Thank you all for coming back. Like I said, I knew Podbean was going to kick me off, and as soon as I finished saying it, it definitely did. So you're welcome, Brina. Oh, and Chill is going to be hosting the show again on Wednesday. He is going to do part 2 of the topic from last Wednesday. So, Chill, you want to tell everyone what your topic is for Wednesday?
No, we just gonna surprise them. Well, y'all better be there. Hell, god dang it, y'all better be around that MF when I say come.
Well,
Y'all better be there. No,
I do know this.
no.
Something tells me Brina is going to be on the panel for you, Sweet Willie. She
I
don't
hope
come on
she
the panel
is.
for
Yeah,
me. She come on the
yeah.
panel for Sweet Willie. But
That's after she feed our kids. And Juju, I guess I seen that you asked me what my favorite curse phrase is, and I think I don't. That's a good ass question.
I didn't ask you
That
that.
may be
I didn't ask you
Juju
that.
asked me.
No, I didn't ask
Juju
you that.
asked though.
Oh, Juju. Oh, that's right,
Yeah, she
Juju.
did,
You're
and I don't know. I guess good.
your other groupie. So
Oh my gosh, here we go.
yep.
It's
Even
hard being
even
sweet
even
Willie.
even Juju. Yep, Juju. You turned into a traitor.
No.
Yep.
Calling somebody raggedy ass is it's always enticing.
And Boss says that
Raggedy,
he
yeah.
won't miss it. So okay, so guys, thank you. So tomorrow will be another show, and
All right, see y'all.
Tuesday is I'm sorry, Wednesday will Chill is hosting the show. Thursday should be a fun show, and I will have another show on Friday evening. So, but enjoy the week, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Totals, thank you so much. I have to respond to your email, and we will do that today. So thank you for responding, and we're going to respond back. Um, on that note, everyone, again, enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you next time. So go where the wind takes you. Bye. And I do like Ninja Bunny. Oh boy. Bob made a slip with your name and it's turned into a reality. Here's that word again, reality. Okay, Brina, you worked that day. Okay. Oh, Tuttle says, thanks for having me up. Great. I'm glad it did. I'm glad it did. I'm trying to stay on topic, y'all. Let's see. Boss says, I knew I got Ninja's name wrong. Well, see, she turned it around, and she's liked the name. It's a cute name. It's okay. I'm gonna rock it for a while. That's good. And thank you for anyone over on YouTube, watching on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you so much. And on that note, have a good day, y'all. Bye.